If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. One of the albums that we're all waiting for in 2021 is definitely Culture 3 by the Migos. The Migos released their latest Culture, so Culture 2, back in 2018. And since then, they've been teasing the third installment in the series, but we never actually got solid information on anything related to it. So this changed the other day because Offset, part of the Migos, took to Twitter to post a video of a music video, it seems like, and captioned it Culture 3. And this is very interesting because this basically announces that there is something coming and that they've already have some finished material, not just the music, but also music videos, because that's also a big part of like a promotion or a rollout of an album is to have, certain placements and music videos and to have like radio play secured and all that. So they're already this far in the process, so this means that it should be coming very soon. Now, we also know that around Christmas, there was some hints from Quavo that he hinted at Culture 3 back when he was asked on February 14th on Valentine's Day when he was out with his now ex-girlfriend, Sweetie, on Valentine's Day dinner. Some paparazzis asked him about Culture 3, and he responded that it's coming within the next, I think he said 90 days. And that, I said in that video, put the release date of Culture 3 at the end of March. Now, we're already pretty close to finishing March. We only have one Friday left, actually, and it is this Friday, March 26th. And this is also why I am thinking that we might actually get it this Friday, March 26th. Now, this is not official information yet, so take this with a grain of salt. But with that information that Quavo gave us, and now this kind of unofficial announcement from Offset, that just seems very plausible. Another thing that I found interesting was that Chance the Rapper commented, "Let's go," and Offset replied, "Time to go crazy." So this already implies that the time is like now and that it's coming soon. Another thing that was also pretty important and interesting in terms of in regarding this release of Culture 3 was that Offset posted another Instagram post. And in this photo, it's just a photo of him in front of a Rolls Royce, and he captioned it, "Time for the Big 3." Now, this, of course, can have many meanings. The Migos is a trio, so there are three in the group, but also that the third installment of the Culture series is coming, or, probably regarding both of these references, which would make sense for him to then caption it that. So this makes me very, very excited because we might actually get Culture 3 this Friday, March 26th. But don't, take my word as official information, but rather that's a hope that I have. That's something that I have concluded for myself from the information we have, but we might get it maybe next week, the week after, whenever they decide to drop it. So always, be on the lookout for what they post on their social media and what they make public. Now getting into my expectations for Culture 3 that I've also talked about in previous videos quite a lot, because I have some stuff I want to say about this. Now, first off, I am, of course, very excited for Culture 3. I believe that the original Culture back in 2017 was one of those albums that can just perfectly describe an era of time that it was released in. Now, the first Culture really captured that 2017 trap sound that emanated from Atlanta. And this, goes hand in hand with like a couple of records that released around the same time. Travis Scott was starting to really pop at the same time. People like Uzi, of course. So this is for me is like a capsule of that era in hip hop, of that era in Atlanta hip hop. And that's why the first one is very special. The second one, though, a lot of people had negative things to say about this because the second one didn't seem like a really refined album. Now, mind me, the first one was also not perfected to the level of a, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but at least it was somehow coherent and it made sense when you listen to it. The second one, though, kind of more seemed like a playlist of just many songs that they made in the studio, just thrown together. Kind of like what we see nowadays with young rappers using the flooding the market strategy or whatever you want to call it to just get streams, get playtime, and that's all they care about. And that's why a lot of people perceived the second culture more negatively than the first one. Now, of course, it's always hard for a successor of a fan favorite album to top the first one. Now, of course, that's also something I have to mention because a lot of people were just expecting an original culture again, which of course that was not what we were going to get by any means, and that's why I'm not mad at that, but still it seemed more unfocused, more just trying to capitalize off of everything that they've been, the wave they were riding on at the time. And that's why I hope that the third culture can kind of make a comeback to a more focused approach to that music. And I'm actually in good spirits for this because we saw some information, we got some word from I think it was Quavo, who last year in March, so like at the beginning of the pandemic, he said that the Migos were not moving around as much anymore and practicing social distancing and only meeting up at the studio to make music. And that would mean that they're more focused on the music, that they go there in mind with the intention of creating something that is coherent and all that. So that's why I'm looking, I'm excited for that. I'm hyped. I hope that this is something that we can see come true on this one. Of course, they've also evolved. In the meantime, they've dropped their solo projects in their kind of 3-year hiatus now since the last Culture 2. The time span between the first Culture and the Culture 2 was only a year, and now it's already been 3 years, so there's a lot of pressure on them, not gonna lie. What's also funny and that I wanted to add was this one comment under one of my videos that I made about Culture 3 and, some past information that we got on it. And there was someone who said that in any trilogy, the first one is always the fan favorite, the second one is always the worst because everybody wants it to be the first one, and then the third one is truly the best. So let's hope that this is true for the Culture series and the Migos, and that's definitely what I'm hoping for. Let me know what you think about this. Are you excited for Culture 3? Do you think that the Migos can continue their legacy from the first Culture that was kind of lost with the second installment with this third album? And what tracks or features would you like to see on there? And what did you think of that Offset snippet that we've heard so far? Because I definitely loved it. I loved Offset's flow on there, and we already heard Quavo on the hook a little bit, so I think it's gonna be fire. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below and let's have a discussion about this. If you watched this video to the end and liked it and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day and y'all take care.